Welcome to Action 242. As we continue to look at the value of prayer, if we want to see the type of church that we read about in Acts 2 as a reality, we need to be a people of prayer. And Paul in Thessalonians writes that we need to pray continually or pray without ceasing. And one of the biggest hindrances we have in prayer is time, is busyness. We live busy lives, and I've lost count of the number of times people have said to me, I just don't have time to pray. The problem is we will never have time. We need to make time. We need to be disciplined. We need to be self-disciplined to create the time that we can spend with God. But as well as what we often call quiet times or devotional times where we put time aside to pray specifically, also prayer needs to be just a part of everyday lives. As we're driving down the road, we can be having a conversation with God. You know, our relationship with God is just that, a relationship. I'm married and I don't just put aside half an hour in the morning to speak to my wife and then ignore her the rest of the day. You know, sometimes it's a phone call in the middle of the day to say, hey, how are you doing? Sometimes it's when I need something. It's a continual conversation of speaking and listening because we're in relationship. One of the things that prevents us praying is actually simply not that we don't have time, but we don't have an awareness that we're in a relationship with God. We're in a relationship with so many other things and so many other people, and often those relationships aren't really real. I have thousands of friends on Facebook, on social media. They're not real friends, but in many ways I spend more time with them when I allow myself to than with God, because social media is something that sucks you in and can rob you of time. Now, I'm not saying that social media is all evil when it's in moderation. And one of the reactions people have is, I don't have time to pray. Oh, I realize how much time I'm spending on social media. I'm going to not spend any time on social media. And for some people, that might be the right thing to do. But here's a suggestion. Why not use social media to help your prayer life? You know, a friend of mine once said this. He said, don't make Facebook your wailing wall, make it your faith book. It's a wonderful way to communicate what we're praying for. It's of thanksgiving. And also, it's full of news of our friends, of their circumstances. And we can use that as a spur to lead us on to pray for circumstances, for events, and for our friends and our acquaintances. Everything that we can do can either take us further from God or lead us to God. And what I would hope that we would do as a people is be aware that prayer is very simply communicating in my relationship with my Heavenly Father. When I'm tempted to sin, the best tool I have at my disposal is to pray. When I'm tempted to watch hours of TV, I can instead say, let me put time aside to pray. I think all of us have got enough time to pray. Our problem is lack of discipline, lack of focus, and lack of priorities. How do I respond now? Well, the first thing to do is to come to the Father in prayer. Say, Lord, I'm sorry if I've been unfaithful in this area. Help me to discipline myself. Help me to stir up a passion for prayer in my own life. And help me to focus on you and not be distracted by the things of this world, the sin and the things that so easily entangle, as we read in Hebrews. And let us keep our eyes focused on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. When we do that and our prayer life ignites, we will see our lives changed and we will see the book of Acts coming to life in our own times.